right, a beautiful afternoon, wherever you're joining us. Welcome to our channel, Extreme Media, and the program, of course, is the Spotlight. On this episode of the Spotlight, we will be looking and doing justice to a very, very important topic that we're bringing back for the second time due to popular demand and request from our esteemed viewers outside there. My name is AKEEM OGUNMILADE. I'm going to be your host on this beautiful episode of the show. And don't forget, we have already in the studio that life business coach that, of course, does justice to the topic. The topic we're looking at on this edition is no other topic than the topic we've discussed earlier on, but we need to have a continuation based on demand. And the topic is agile, agile. I did remember we will be doing a recap of it. The first two questions will be a recap of what happened in the last episode, and we will now be looking at the foods. What is it that they're talking about? Why are people always talking about agile? What's it about agile, the foods? That's what we will be doing justice to on this edition. For all our viewers outside of those viewers joining us, please don't forget to do us a favor, share the link, invite other people to join us. Don't be selfish, I would say. Let people learn from the expert, from the numero uno business coach that handles this topic in North America. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have with me in the studio no other person than Mr. Ibrahim Aruna. Mr. Ibrahim Aruna, good afternoon. It's such a pleasure to have you live with us in the studios of Extreme Media. And we hope you are actually enjoying this beautiful part of the weather, the winter. And also, I would say to our audience out there that we our sincere prayers are with the people of Ukraine at these trying times. What do you think about that, Mr. Ibrahim?
Yes, it's trying times indeed. So we don't want war. We want peace around the world. So we call on the both parties to take the war back and allow peace to reign. Because a lot of innocent people is going to get hurt, right? So let's say no to war, and let's Russia pull out, and everybody come to the table and have an amicable resolution to this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Ola. Let's quickly have a recap of what transpired during the first episode of this conversation, where we initiated, educated people about Agile. Let's have a recap of it in just 1 or 2 minutes so that people joining us for the first time can have a kind of refresher session that would bring them up to date. So just tell us about Agile and what we looked at in the first episode. Then we can start this edition appropriately.
Yeah, so just to recap, in the last episode we talked about what is agile and why agile, and from my explanation then was agile is a kind of a way of doing things, a way of work where we apply kind of methodology to be able to be efficient and effective in whatever we do. It's a kind of a mindset. It's a mindset that allows to be able to deliver work in a very short, iterative way, where we can actually give values to the customer, right? And that's why a lot of organizations are rushing to it. Agile is helping organization to be able to realize value quickly. And it's also helping to reshape organization as well, where leadership can look at gaps, see why they're not able to deliver work, and now using Agile to be able to fill those gaps. And one thing I only want to touch quickly that we didn't talk about was the origin of Agile. So where is the Agile coming from? It was in 2001. We have 17 folks came together in a place called Utah Jacks. It's a ski resort. They came together, having fun, playing ski, and put head together to looking forward and looking at how they can do software delivery in a much efficient and effective way. And over the years, it has evolved. It has covered different kind of type of work, be in infrastructure, be in marketing, business, software, manufacturing, anything you can think of. So Agile is coming to help us to be able to do and be more efficient and effective in doing those kind of work.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For those of you just joining us, thank you for joining us in this episode of the show, the Spotlight. Um, we just concluded with a recap, that was what we're able to talk about, and it gave us also the origin of Agile, which we skipped in the first phase of it. Well, today we'll be looking at some topics like why are people rushing Agile? Like there's something about it, there's a fuss about it people don't know, and that's why I'm going to encourage everybody here. You can see the life coach number. If we understand we're always busy here, if you can join right now, you can watch it later. You can always call and ask questions from Mr. Ibrahim Ola Aruna. He's a transformer when it comes to agile. He's a transformation expert, and he will be able to do justice to it. Before we start today's questions, we would want to take a very short break, and after the break, the program returns. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's still GT, the Spotlight, and my name is AKEEM. We were doing justice to the topic today, like you can see on the screen. It is Agile, the fuse. What's the fuse about? Why are people talking about it? Why are people rushing it? There must be something about it, and that's what we'll be looking at today. With me already in the studio is, of course, our business coach who will be doing justice to this topic. So right now we're moving straight to the questions for this edition. I'm going to drop it like a boom before you, Mr. Ibrahim Ola Haruna. Why are people rushing Agile? What's the fuss about? Why are people? What is it about Agile? Please do justice to this. I really want to know.
So that there has to be a reason why people are rushing to agile, right? Um, I'm going to break it down into two ways. Why are organizations rushing to agile? So the reason is very short and easy, is because it's helping organizations to deliver works in a very efficient and effective way, where customer can quickly get values. Unlike in the before, where they have to wait, you could wait for so long before you could actually get values, right? So it's helping to solve a lot of problems. And that's why organizations are rushing into it. But as an individual, so everybody is rushing to agile because they think it's a new way that it's a career, it's a new way that people can get job quickly, right? And also help in terms of money. It's about the money, you know. The money part of it is attractive, it's lucrative. The career pays well. And I can break it down. An average salary in Canada is 45,000. An average salary for a typical for a start in agile career can double that. Can be 85,000 per annum. And can go up to 120, 130, 140, 150K per annum.
Wow.
And so you can see the reason why, right? And so that's why people are rushing to agile. It's very attractive, it's very lucrative, and it's also satisfying because the career as an agile person, and then we can talk about different roles, right? What are the different roles we have in agile? The is easy to start, and my advice is for people to start from something called the Scrum Master. So as a Scrum Master in Canada, you can make salary between 85,000 to 130,000 to over 140,000. And in US, it could be actually more than that because I have students in both countries that have trained, that have mentored, that they got job, right?
Yes.
And in terms of, and the next, you also see like agile coach. Then you have agile coach actually more than that, right? You could make up to 200K per annum, right? So you can see that it's very juicy. That's why a lot of people are rushing to agile.
Yeah, I really, really see the reason now. Now, when you started explaining for the individual reasons why people are rushing agile, you used the statement that they can feel or they can. It wasn't like an assertion. It wasn't a level of like an 100% assertion. You used the term that was a maybe thing. Are you saying that that for individuals, I don't know. I feel for the individual aspect, I needed to shed more light on it while people are rushing it. Apart from the fact that the remunerations are high,
Mhm.
what are the other reasons? Because you used a term
So
that was not affirmative 100%. That's why I am
okay, so
re-emphasizing it. Like,
I'm gonna use even the word "can," okay, because I'm
yeah,
giving the real life. I'm sharing my real life experience, okay,
yeah,
and
good.
from my mentees. So out of all the people that have trained, the minimum salary that my mentee got is 85,000. I have that's base before benefits.
That's
For my
is it for Scrum Master alone
Scrum
or
Master, for Scrum
also?
Master.
And
So
sorry, I'm not cutting you. And you said something. I remember last edition that irrespective of your career path, you being
you can,
a
yep,
payroll specialist, being an inventory specialist, or whatever you're, any career you work in
yep,
the church, military,
you
anywhere,
can do it. Yep.
you can do it. Oh
Yeah. And
my
another
God.
catch is about the ease. So I used to be a PM long time ago. And since I
Okay.
moved to the agile world, I see the difference. I never look back because it's actually easier. The Scrum Master role is easier to play than the PM role. Right?
You mean,
It's more of a soft
by
skill.
PM, you mean the project manager?
Yeah, for me, yeah. So when you compare project manager to a Scrum Master is more fun. It's more soft skill, right? It's less bureaucratic like the PM. They are not expecting you to perform magic. You there as a facilitator. You there to help create funds. You there to help make sure you have remove impediment. You there. It's a lot of soft skill, a lot of leadership skill.
Awesome. Awesome.
And the team is self-organized, right? So a lot of time you have experts that you're working with. You're going to ensure that you're making those experts to be able to realize their potential. You are an enabler.
Hmm.
So it's very fun. And it's fun and it's attractive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So far, honestly, I'm beginning to have a second thought right now. But when I hear money, I love it. Once I hear money, I'm good to go. Okay, let's. You've been able to respond to one of my questions. I intend to
Okay.
ask you. That was how competitive the agile remuneration is in the market. You've done justice to it, and
But I can
let
actually add more. I
oh
have.
wait,
Uh,
do more justice to it.
okay.
Also,
So yeah. So this is full time and as a contract. So a good example, I finished training one of my mentee in US, and she has background in healthcare, right? Different field. And when we finished the training, and the first job she got, they offer her $50 per hour, 50 USD dollars per hour.
wow.
And I told her, don't take it. She looked at me, are you crazy? I said, nope, don't take it. 2 weeks after that, she got another offer, $60 per hour. She didn't even let me know she accepted the offer right there. Because she was afraid maybe I'm going to ask her not to take it. It's okay. It's okay. And she did that. And after 4 months, she moved to a full-time job and she got a base of 115,000 per annum
Wonderful.
plus benefit. By the time you add everything together, it will be going to 150, 160K per annum as a Scrum Master, right? And some Scrum Master I've seen those that make $80 per hour, $90 per hour, and those people that are playing as well. This is contract. Then full time, I have 105, 115,000 per annum. These are all people that have trained. These are all people I talk to and I still talk to. These are all my mentees. So I'm
Oh,
not making things up. So I'm giving a real life example and I'm sharing my real life experience. So
awesome. Honestly speaking, this I would say for those of you just joining us, this is the best plug. You want to integrate, you want to get to the next level. This is an
we,
appropriate place for you to
we talked
be.
about it last time that people should
Yeah,
wait for the juicy part of it, right? And today is the juicy part of
the juicy part of it.
it.
All right, guys, let's take a very short break, and we'll be right back. As Mr. Ibrahim will continue to do justice to the topic. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, esteemed viewers, and thank you everybody joining us at one point or the other. You can watch live from Facebook, our page, from Twitter, our Twitter handle, and of course, at the same time, you can watch us live on YouTube, where we're transmitting from. You can also send in your questions live. You want to ask questions about Agile. This is the second episode of it, and the response has been massive. We want to say thank you to everybody. I see your comments. This is beautiful, and we are really encouraged by comments coming in from Solid Kemi TV. Thank you so much from Onidamola Mary Akinloye, from J. Job, and a host of other people who are sending in their comments. If you have a question about Agile, honestly, this is the right time. Mr. Ibrahim said it. He has said it all. This today is about the juicy part of it. So let's keep the ball rolling. Mr. Ibrahim, what are other career paths in Agile? You know, a lot of us might be thinking, I'm a personal support worker. I am an account receivable. I don't know, like, can I benefit from this? Can you run us through on a very broad professional level career paths that we can tell, and how do we go about it?
So the career path is a lot of very interesting, and for me, I'm passionate about Agile. You can all see that, and that's why I do what I do. You know, and for anyone that want to show interest, the career path is enormous. Starting from the first one, which is the Scrum Master. Right? Scrum Master is the first one, and as a Scrum Master, you facilitate, you help people, you support people, you support your team. You there as a servant leader, right? As a Scrum Master, and after, I always encourage people to start with that. Maybe after 1 year or 2 years, you move to the next step, which is a coach. If you want to be a coach, you should have had an example of being able to do something, right? So for me, I played the role of a coach for so many years. And because I have played the role of a Scrum Master before I moved to that, it was easy for me to support Scrum Master, product owner, business owners, leadership, and be able to share my experience. I have done this before. How about we try it, right? And one person I coach, a coach in United States, when he moved from being in an architecture or in technical into Agile, and the first job he got was $100 per hour.
Oh my God, that is my ears are like this.
Right? And this is real, okay? And that person, and you need to see how I was asking this guy to move for so long, but finally he listened. I was able to mentor as well, and that really paid off. And the person is still there up to now as an agile coach, right? So an agile coach is the next step, and after agile coach, there's also some other branches of career you could branch into. There's something called the release train engineer. So just like a similar release train engineer.
Okay.
It's similar to a program manager in PM, right? So they help to organize, to work with product owner, to work with different people to get this in order. And also there's also solution train engineer in a very big way of doing things, right? And also transformation lead. I'm a transformation lead. I've passed a lot of stages. I'm now a transformation lead. As a transformation lead, expectation is that you oversee all these folks, right? In the organization, they're looking up to you to help shape their transformation, their agile way of doing things, the scale agile way of doing things in at the whole enterprise level, organizational level. So that's the stage where I am right now. That's what I'm doing right now. And in terms of who can come into this profession, anybody. I have had people that have commerce, sociology, language, healthcare, different background coming, and they're doing well. Wow. And there's no limitation. Nobody. And again, that's also usually for people that don't have IT background, I usually give them a free website called alison.com, ALISON.com. they can do diploma in information technology, which is free. It's free. It's a free diploma in IT. I ask them to do it. They can put down their resume to give them the IT side of it.
Hmm.
And if they want the certificate, they only pay some money to get the certificate. But that's a free diploma out there. Just like there's almost a free MBA out there. So it's about information, right? So these are what I do. So anybody can come into there. It's like about, and again, and that's why for me, I do the training and I have to configure and adapt my training to be able to suit and fill a lot of gaps that other training companies don't do. Because we have a lot of people that do training nowadays
Hmm.
and they just train people based on theory.
Yeah.
Well, I base my own training on the practical knowledge, sharing my
Practical
practical
knowledge.
example. And
Oh,
a lot of people that have gone through my classes, my mentorship, coaching classes, they really see the values in it. Because I always, well, the book says this, but in reality, this is how it is.
hmm.
Be able to compare apple to orange, apple to apple, right? And
Yeah.
say, yeah, this is a different
And
apple
that
to
is
orange. So you can see that it really helping to allow people to gain the practical knowledge and practical examples.
all right. That makes a lot of sense to me. Mr. Abraham, we're going to get to one
Okay.
question related to this topic, what you just mentioned.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'm still going to say it again. I keep looking at it from different perspectives. I saw one of the comments from one of our multi-award-winning news agency, MOA News Blog, and this man is an engineer. He does things in the media, and
Mhm.
I'm wondering for an engineer of his status, yeah. How would you advise him to start? Like, if he is interested in
Mhm.
this program, how would you? What areas would you just give him a heads up? For example, I'm just randomly picking an engineer
Yep.
perspective into
Yep.
the agile market.
See, for an engineer, my advice is you start with the training. But the first thing is the mindset. And you can the mindset can be changed. I don't expect the person to change the mindset immediately. Apology, because an engineer could have an ego. I'm an engineer, the title, right? But the agile in us, we don't look at all those titles. We don't care about what your title is. Right? The agile mindset is a mindset of, okay, when you come in, you want to be able to support people. You want to remove your ego. You want to remove your title and come in and want to be able to work with people in the team and be able to get things going, right? So engineer can come and start as a scrum master, really. I will call it that person. And from there, the person can quickly grow. But one of the advantage for that kind of a person is that all his technology background could be a transferable skill, because sometimes you're working with technical folks, you could easily understand the language. But even if you don't have those kind of background, it's still not a problem. So you can learn on the trade, you can learn on the work, on the job. Because when you're working on a project, you're gonna have the scope, you have the vision, the roadmap, and you have the scope of the project, and you can quickly read and catch up to understand the high level. What is it that we want to do? Is it that we want to build an app or a customer app that's going to increase the customer experience, or you want to be able to build something, or even you want to do a renovation or a housing move. I have one of my clients that I've worked with. They were consolidating their offices. They have so many footprints. There are 6 different offices in New York, and they wanted to cut it down to just 2. So we use agile methodology, the Kanban method,
Hmm.
and we're able to,
Canva.
yeah, the Kanban method, right? And we're able to use a lot of methodology and break it down, right? And be able to get those things done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Ola Aruna. To our esteemed viewers there, I see a question from Solid Kemi. She's asking, and we just go on the site to do the free program. Well, we're going to get to that. You're going to respond to that appropriately.
Okay.
How can the next step for people to think?
Okay.
I understand you have one of the best training centers in North
Yep.
America, the Vision Learning Solution.
Yep.
It's a wonderful consultancy services
Yep.
that I would rate a 5 star. because now at the point in time, I went through the website and I saw comments, I
Hmm.
saw reviews of your students. I
Hmm.
see the enthusiasm, the excitement in them that they are
Right.
proud leaders. And in the course of this program, I see live comments. Wow, thumbs up for you! You are the best business coach. This is incredible, and I feel this is really, really wonderful. Also, I just saw a reaction from the engineer friend of mine who I noticed sent in a live comment. He said,
Okay.
"Many thanks. However, I I am a Scrum Master with AWS Solution Architect." Oh
Okay.
my God, that's wonderful.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
That's really great. You know, this is the
Awesome.
skills people are doing it, and that's why we brought this topic again.
Awesome.
The
Awesome.
skills, so you know, what is it about Agile? I'm really impressed, and as an accountant, I'm beginning to consider I have to go for this course. You know, I've
Yep.
enjoyed.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not?
Honestly speaking. So let's
Why not?
take another very short break.
Okay.
Studio time check is 3:29 p.m. We're transmitting live from the city of Oshawa in Canada. We'll be right back after this break, and when we return, we're going to continue with questions for our guest in the studio. All right, welcome back wherever you're watching us. It's still the spotlight on this channel, and today we are talking about Agile, the first. It's a second episode on this trail, on this the same topic, Agile. Interestingly, guys, I understand something that every area, every sector, every genre of discipline has his or our own terminologies. And right now, because I have with me in the studios someone doing justice to this topic, I would want to ask our coach, Mr. Ibrahim Ola Aruna.
Mhm.
Could you walk us through those general terminologies, things that like once we are coming into this practice, you can dodge these terminologies. You need to understand that. Could you walk us through that, so that it's a basis of encouragement for people
So
who want to start?
yeah, I just had even the engineer mentioned AWS, and people might be wondering what's AWS, right? So AWS means Amazon Web Services, right? And for this guy who's doing this Scrum Master, I'm going to encourage him to maybe after 1 or 2 years, move to the next level, right? He could move into the role of a different role, not just don't stay on being a Scrum Master for too long, right? So challenge yourself and move to different roles. So different agile terminologies. Scrum is one of them. And what does Scrum mean, right? SCLUM. Scrum comes from the word of, the rugby football. That's
Okay.
actually Scrum. Everybody swam together. That's actually called Scrum. And that's where the term Scrum comes from. The idea of that everybody swam together and do things together in a collaborative way. They hold each other's hand. They're able to do more. Unlike the relay approach that you run, you give a batting. What if you drop your batting, your team could lose, right? You can see agile. So agile, we're using a lot of real life terms in agile. Sprint, sprint. You run in sprint, right? But in agile, the sprint means the iterative time. 1 week of sprint, 2 weeks of sprint, the period, the duration, right? And so what about Kanban? The Kanban comes from this guy Tai Chi Ono. He's from a Toyota engineer who created that. The can it means card, the card, right? The card. And
Yeah.
the ban is the signal. That's a Japanese word, right? Kanban, right? And that's where you use the something called the the Kanban board, the board where you put those things, right? And we
Okay.
have something called the backlog. So the backlog is like a container that we put all the work that we're doing, right? So in Agile, too, we use the word a lot of prioritization. We prioritize things, right? so many times. So we can
So
keep
many
going and
times.
keep going.
Yeah, Mr. Ibrahim, I want to ask a question quickly
Yeah,
before it escapes my mind.
yeah,
Now, when, for example, as a trainee, as a consulting firm, I want to
yeah.
ask if a student comes to you, are you the one who does the accreditation, or after your training, there is a central approving body that they have to do an exam outside your company? I want to
Yeah.
understand, how does it work?
So um the way it works is this, right? You have, if you come in to do my training, for instance, I always encourage people. My focus is not on the certification, but let me break this down to everybody. So those of us that come from developed world, I'm not picking on us, okay? It's just my personal experience, okay? And I'm sharing my practical experience. So people always think what's going to get you a job is your certificate, right? And you can have people that have masters, PhD, 10 certification, everything. They walk into interview. They expect you to expect them because, oh, I have all these certifications. Guess what? It doesn't work that way. Um, I don't look at, if I've been part of so many interviews, I don't even look at the titles. I don't look at CSM, whatever, whatever. I just focus. I look at the content and see if the person has the experience that I'm looking for and how long has that person been doing the work. Then I focus on that person and interview the person and listen to him to see if the person grabs the concept and can actually explain to me. I'm not saying certification is not good. It's good, but focus on learning the trade and be able to do the job. And that's where my own training comes in, and that's why I configure. And I'm not I'm not selling because I want to do training. Right? I want to help. I want to help my community to get a lot of people to get into this trade, right? Because we need people, right? And what I would charge is compared to the value of what I'm giving is nothing. So minimal. Like people, I have people that charge far more than I charge, and people don't even get that much value, right? But I encourage people to focus on getting the real training from people that have worked in the field to
Yeah.
learn that knowledge. And I also encourage people that are delivering training to make sure they do a good job because we have a lot of people, they've done training. I have people that come to my class that they've done one or two trainings. I have to retrain them again. So it's
Yeah.
not good,
Yeah, Mr. Bright,
you know.
you've not still answered my question. So,
Yeah.
is it does the certificate come from Envision Consultancy
Oh
Services?
no.
There is a central
So
body. Okay.
um I there are tons and tons of certification body. This is different from PMP where you have PMI, a one body that certify everybody. Here we have different certification body. We have Scrum Alliance, we have Scrum.org, we have um, Scrum Institute. We have so many different bodies, right? We have even the methodology again. You have save, you have large, you have less, you have different kind of thing, right? So there's a different body. But for me, I always recommend a one body that is not too expensive for people because to me, certification is certification, right? It doesn't matter where you get it. It's
Okay.
just to say that you are certified Scrum Master, which is the first one. And the body I usually recommend, once you do it, it's cheap, it's very straightforward. It's a 60 minutes, 50 questions exam. And once you have that, I always encourage people to also make sure they do the training to get that practical experience, learn from the people in the industry, and get a mentor. So because when you have somebody holding your hand, the person will give you support as you go, and you will help you to be able to put your feet in the industry and be able to build your experience and be able to grow and become a better person as well.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I have this one now question still from MOA. MOA seems to be so much with us. He's asking
That's
that
good.
could you please give us that free website for IT
Okay,
for
sure.
beginners? That's a very good one. Please could you
Is
mention it and
is
okay,
ALI,
just hold on for me.
okay,
ALI
SON
SON
.com.
.com. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Alison.com. That's it. MOA.
There are so many free diploma, free training you can get there, right? They are free. The only thing you pay for is the certificate. So
Yeah.
I always encourage people who doesn't have the IT background to do this diploma in information technology, diploma in so many areas.
I,
Yeah.
Mr. Are you recommending that for people from engineering, or for example, if a PSW, or if an accountant, you still recommend that everybody
Oh,
starts
yes.
with that IT?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that way they learn something about IT there, right? So that
Okay.
will give them, it's a free website that they can learn. But if you want to go into the agile one, they also need to now come and do the training. I will recommend they do the training, because
Awesome.
that training, right, is going to help get their feet into the industry.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much too. I
Thank
see
you.
another wonderful comment from a very revered cinematographer in North America,
Okay.
Mr. Gabriel. Mr. Gabriel is saying that training is a very important bedrock for every profession. He says focus on learning the trade and being able to do the job. It applies to all choosing profession. I do
Yep.
solidly agree with this revered cinematographer.
Yes.
Currently, he had to leave his duties, his family, everything. He had to travel to another province to go and
Wow.
study more in cinematography. We
Wow.
wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of
That's true.
the program. And thank you so
Yeah.
much again, Onyidamola Mary Akinloye. I see all your comments. We say thank you. J. Jobs, thank you so much. And for all other people joining us, Solid Kemi, we still say thank you so much. If you're just tuning in, what we're talking about is the agile. You've missed a lot. You need to watch this back. It's a juicy career. In fact, I made up my mind, Mr. Ibrahim. I'm coming to list. I love those figures. $100,000 per hour. Oh
Why not? Why not? Right?
Yeah, let's take the next question. We have less than 10 minutes
Okay.
to be together.
Okay. Okay.
Honestly, I know we can't finish it because we're not even midway yet.
Yep.
If I ask this question, how do I get a mentor? I know you're a mentor, but how do someone get a mentor if you want to start this career? Okay, could you just walk us through? Give us that it's going to be a solid kind of thing, a reality
Right.
thing we can clinch
So
on. Let's the contact
so
now and start now. Yeah.
so what I have done is to create a community. So that's a community and called Envision Agile. And the Envision Agile, we actually do every month webinar. We actually had one this couple of days ago. And so the community, we have a WhatsApp group. And I have a lot of people that have trained in the past, people that have mentoring in that group as well, that can also be mentor to other people. So that it's not just me alone. So myself, I'm there. I also have people that have grown, they have through the trade, and be able to also be able to mentor as well. And that's why I build that community. It's a community of practice, right? So anybody who is interested can reach out to me. I will be ready to help and ready to support, because Agile is about community, and how can we get more people into the community and give them the support they need, and so that they can learn and grow as well.
Thank you so much. In the course of when you were explaining that, we got a private chat from Iyameto, Chief Mrs. Fumio Lumabe, the president of Iyameto Productions in North America. She is a part of us on this edition. Thank you so much, and we are very grateful for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's take our last break, and after the break, we'll be back. We'll just be able to take 2 more questions because we are short of time.
We can always come back, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Ibrahim, I was coming to that. We've not even started on the state of Agile. This is one exciting one. I can't wait. Like, okay, let's take this break, and I'll be right back.
Awesome.
All right, thank you so much, wherever you're watching us. This
Mhm.
is Expert Media, and we are bringing to you live this episode of the show, the Spotlight. And we've been talking with a guru, I would describe as a guru in the agile market. He is a business coach and he's been doing justice, talking about the juicy part of of that career. I would quickly want to chip in if you're interested in being a part of this program. Don't hesitate to reach out to us through our email or go to our website and just sign up there, info@xraymedia.com. There are lots of other things that I would quickly want to give you a heads up. We are having an historian, someone very popular in the North American community, Nebo, the president of Nebo TV. She's going to be our guest on the next episode of this show, which comes up fortnightly. And the next episode also, we are built to have a politician who is aspiring to be the governor of Oyo State. He's going to be joining us on this program, and subsequently, like, I'm just giving you heads up for the next two episodes, so stay tuned and keep sharing this within your community. All right, welcome back to the studio, Mr. Ibrahim Ola Aruna. Let's quickly look at in terms of the future of agile. There are
Hmm.
some stuffs that just come and go. They just come and they just rain and they fade out. How would you describe the reliability about the future of agile? You're urging us to go into it now.
Yep.
How reliable is this future? Is it worth our investment into a long-term vision? That's what we want to find out from you now.
So the future of Agile is bright. Um, so Agile started in 2001, over 20 years ago, and we're just at the booming stage where every organization is realizing the values, and that's why a lot of people are getting into it. I can tell you, it's very hard to get good resources right now. I have situation where we were looking for agile coach for so 4 or 5 months and we couldn't even find. I have organizations reaching out to me, left, right, and side. Sometimes I get 4 or 5 calls per day. They want me to come and work for them. Same thing for Scrum Master, right? So it's opening up. So the future is huge. Okay, look at it this way. The project management, the PMP with the waterfall, it was a huge for a long time. And we still have some countries that have not really fully adopted PMP. And now the Agile has come to overtake that. And in all ramifications, Agile is doing much, much better than the PMP in the way of delivering work, right? And if anybody tells you Agile fell, sometimes it's not because the Agile methodology fell. It is that maybe the way they are applying it. They don't have the expert that can help them to apply it properly. So you can see the future is bright. It's a career that has come to stay. That
Oh,
a lot of, I mean, I've seen organizations that they thought it's not working, they left and they come back again. I have one organization I'm working on, in which they started it was working fine. A new leader came, they took them back. Another leader came and returned them back to Agile. It has come to stay because they compare and see. By the time we're actually there, we're actually able to achieve much, much better. When they took us back, then we have a setback. So let's go back to it because it's working. So the future is bright.
awesome, awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim. Let's look at it now. Are we when we talk about good things like this, money comes to play. Nothing
Yep.
good comes, So let's
Mhm.
look at it. In terms of cost for training, is it cost that is it, how much is it? For example, how flexible is the payment? If we know you as one of the best in North America, so
Mhm.
definitely
Mhm.
let's ask you directly here. How much does it cost to start this training? How flexible is it? And how much would it cost when it's time to pay online for the examination with
Mhm.
any of the bodies you mentioned? Let's find out
Mhm.
this question. And we have one last question. We have just 3-4 minutes to go. Can
Okay.
we be
So
fascinated?
so quickly, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to give a good example. A typical agile training out there, they do 2 days workshop, 2 days workshop, and it costs around 1,700. And they only cover the theory. They don't do anything about your resume. They don't do anything about mentorship. They don't do anything about interview prep. And it costs around 1,700. My cost I have a total package, right? It's actually 2,300, which is still very cheap. The value of my program was almost $10,000, right? But because I'm giving back to the community, I cut it down drastically. And I'm actually doing promotion, right? I do promotion right now, and the cost is now 1,500. And these classes is just classics, and people can, if you can pay it once, even better. But if you cannot pay, the payment arrangement will be that you pay 60% and start, and after the third class, you have to pay the balance. So that's the cost, and that's how it works for the training program.
All right, thank you so much. And it leads me to the next question. And I see one of our esteemed viewers asked a question. He said, "What differentiates your training from others?" Thank you so much, Munikat. I have that question for him too. That as a trainer, as a coach, what distinguishes you from other trainers? Tell us
So,
that.
so what distinguishes my training from others is a lot. Number one, I'm bringing the industry experience, right? A lot of people, they just have the theoretical knowledge and they start training. I'm bringing the passion. Naturally, I like to teach. I've been teaching right even before I get into the university. I've been teaching, so I have the passion to teach. And anybody that comes to my class will see that. Then it's not just because of the money; it's because I love to teach. I love to give back.
You
I love
love
to
to.
empower people. I love to instill knowledge in people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Other
yeah.
thing is the
Yeah,
package
how many years experience do you have in this? How far have you been in this practice? That's really important to know.
in the agile world. I have over 13 years experience.
Oh my God. Whoop.
So in my project management experience, I have 22 years experience overall. But in the last 13 years, I've been focusing on agile. But let me finish about the package also. The training, what sets me different aside is my training covers your resume preparation to guide you to come up with your best
Wow.
resume.
Wow.
Anybody that you see your resume, you get a call. Number two, the interview prep.
Hmm.
Most of that training, they don't give the interview prep. Number three, in my class, you do presentation, you get hands-on that prepare you for the job. Then you also get all these six classics. Like you also get one-on-one with me. You get the mentorship. You have the
Oh
post-class
my God.
mentorship.
That's okay. This is too much of this is
You
too
see,
much
it's a
of
giveaway.
good.
It's so cheap, right?
You
I've seen
can't
people who tell me your class is cheap, and I
I
say, yeah.
can say honestly speaking, and it's a lot of. We're going to come back again, Mr. Ibrahim. Get prepared.
Yeah,
We are booked now on this show for the next one month, 1.5 months. Let's see when we can come back. I still
sure.
want to. We're going to dig deep into why Envision Consultancy Services is revered, is the much talked about. It's that it's what people resonate with at the moment. And also, we were looking at focusing on the state of agile. It is one topic, it is one area we're going to really, really dig deep into. Coach Ibrahim, we have a question from MOA, and he said the free IT courses, you shared the link with us. Does it come with certification? He wants a confirmation on that.
So they have exam. Some of them have the exam. Once you write the exam, it's very easy to you follow those program. You finish it, you write the exam, and when you finish it, they say now you have the certificate ready. Don't forget, some of them are diploma. Diploma is different from certification.
Hmm.
Certification is 1 hour exam, but this one is a course. It's like a diploma. It's equivalent to, but when you finish those diploma, the program, within a week, you can finish it, right? And you write the exam right there and you get the certificate. You pay for the certificate. You don't pay for the training, you don't pay for the course. If you want the certificate, you pay for it and it's not too expensive.
Okay, so Oyedabala Mary, is it for free? The training is free, but you pay for the certificate. MOA, your question also is been answered. All right, guys, we try to stick to time. It's a 45-hour spotlight show we bring to you fortnightly. This is how far we'll be able to go. We've exceeded it, exceeded our time, but the topic is interesting. We've had about the juicy part of this discipline. Any final words from your ends on this episode, Mr. Ibrahim?
Say again?
Your final words.
I want to say thank you, AKEEM, for bringing me back. You know, we started this couple of years ago, and we're always looking forward to come back. And you can see this is huge. We're always going to come back to continue the discussion, right? Because we want to educate people to know about Agile and to see how they can get into it and see how they can be part of it as well. So I want to say thank you for our listeners for believing in me and for wanting all this want to learn and share from me as well. So that I'm sharing my knowledge, right? I want to say thank you for all this showing up as well. All your questions are very, very good. I want to say thank you for that as well. Thank you, Akeem, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And the most interesting part is I have somebody who said, I have signed up already. That's beautiful. Thank you so much to all our esteemed viewers. This is how far we'll be able to go on this episode of the Spotlight. My name remains AKEEM OGUNMILADE. We'll promise to keep bringing you exciting, educating, entertaining, as well as enlightening topics of this nature. And once again, heads up for next episode, we'll be bringing in Nebo. Nebo is the president of the Nebo TV, and she will be doing justice. She has a huge book launch about the Great Benin Empire. Guys, you don't want to miss it. Just stay tuned. You'll be finding a lot of information about this historian. You're going to see a very detailed documentary about this lady. Indeed, a lady of substance. All right, stay tuned. Keep your fingers crossed. Don't forget, share, like, subscribe, and be a part of this community on our YouTube, on Twitter, and of course on our Facebook page. My name remains AKEEM OGUNMILADE. I'm wishing you a beautiful time, and we keep praying for Ukraine to have peace. Goodbye, and have a beautiful day. Bye.